This episode of Rashad G Reviews is brought to you by Moonshine Tequila, presented by Jethro Pettigrew. With the delectable combination of the finest moonshine and tequila, it's the only hybrid liquor to get the seal of excellence from Uncle Sam himself.
Is that moonshine tequila the only liquor approved by the U.S. government?
Now, I'm not saying you can't have a good time without moonshine tequila, but why take chances?
Woo!
That's right, moonshine tequila.
Ooh, oh my gosh. Woo!
Moonshine tequila gives you brewed in Bokeh, Florida. Alright, thanks to our sponsors, Moonshine Tequila, for sponsoring this video. And today, we're going to be talking about Superfly. I'm being joined again by my man Anthony A. Perez. This is a continuation of our tit for tat saga, where we pick movies for each other that we normally would not watch. So I did review Superfly about 3 years ago. Alright, when my face was a little skinnier, my hairline wasn't back that far, you know what I mean? So I'm going to leave the link to that video in the description because I go into full detail about the movie. But for this video, really, it's more about sharing some of my favorite movies with my YouTube brothers. And Anthony A. Perez, he's been down. I've shared some blaxploitation movies with him. He's been a good sport with it because I acknowledge how bad these movies are. But for the culture, for the time, you know, these movies were really important. This is the first time that you got to see black people talk shit to white folks, you know. So at the time, it was a big deal. And they are historic. So yeah, they're cheesy. They're put together very badly, very horrible special effects. When you see the blood, it looks like strawberry syrup, really thick. And these movies are just not really good, but just for what they stand for, and the fact that like I said, you got to see black people talk shit to white folks. That's something that's never been done before. So Perez got a chance to check out Superfly. We're gonna get to his thoughts in a minute, but just real quick, man, just a little. God damn it, why is every time I shoot a video, man, these loud ass cars go by? One of the downsides about living in the hood. Fuck y'all. So real quick recap, Superfly is the story of young blood Priest, who is the biggest dope dealer in New York City right now. But he has a plug, Scatter, who is the guy that supplies him with the dope. And the guy that supplies Scatter with the dope is the man who is the chief commissioner of the fucking police. You know what I'm saying? So Priest, he's been doing this for a while. He's got 50 men under him. You know what I mean? He has a pretty big organization. Business is doing very good. He dresses in the fly suits, drives the dopest cars. But he's tired of the shit. He's tired of the dope game. He wants to do something different. And he wants to just make one big score, one last big score, and get his lady Georgia, played by the lovely Sheila Frazier, and get his money, get the fuck out of Dodge, be done with the life forever. Now, Superfly was one of the first blaxploitation joints that came out. Before it. It was Shaft and then Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. That was the original. Now Shaft is kind of like the poster child for blaxploitation, but to me Shaft was weak. It bored the fuck out of me. I really don't care about Shaft, to be honest with you, but Superfly was more that cool ass fucking movie with one of the best soundtracks ever. So besides Ron O'Neal and Sheila Frazier, you got to put Curtis Mayfield as the MVP of this movie also, and it was directed by the late Gordon Parks Jr. Curtis Mayfield's music carried this movie on its back. You take away this soundtrack, you have just another bad blaxploitation movie, but Curtis Mayfield just gave it that fucking gloss, that flavor that it needed, man, that spice, that you just can't take your eyes off of it because you just keep hearing the music, and there's a song for every situation that happens in the movie. So big ups to Curtis Mayfield, rest in peace. But yeah, Superfly was like one of the last of the blaxploitation joints that was like serious. Like Superfly is a serious movie. This is an actual movie about a man wanting to get out the game. Whereas after a while with the blaxploitation joints, it became more of glorifying the pimp lifestyle. It became about glorifying the drug dealer lifestyle, you know, glorifying the life of crime, and hence the term exploitation. But Superfly wasn't like that. And I think a big misconception that people have about this movie is that it's a pimp movie. Priest was not a pimp. Yeah, he had his main lady Sheila, and he had a white chick on the side who he used to bang. You know, he would snort coke off of his cross after he did her, but he wasn't a pimp. He was a drug lord. He was Nino Brown. He was Frank Lucas. He was Bumpy Johnson. He was those guys. You know what I'm saying? That was Priest. So it wasn't glorifying drugs or drug dealing. It was actually an anti-drug movie, to be honest with you, even though he did coke for most of the movie, but it's an anti-drug movie. And when you look at the poster, that you see the name Superfly, you think, okay, this is one of those cheesy-ass blaxploitation films that glorifies sex and drugs and violence, and it doesn't do that. If you really look at it, it is an anti-drug movie, anti-crime movie. It's about a man trying to get out the game, but he's forced to stay in the game because the man will not let him go, because Priest is making a lot of money for him. So you're not going to let go of something that's going to get you business. But Priest has a plan to stick it to the man, and that he does in very cool fashion. So before I get to my final thoughts about Superfly, I'm going to give the floor to Anthony A. Perez, who's never watched this movie. He's watching it for the first time. So Perez, the floor is yours. What do you think about Superfly, bro?
What's going on, Rashad and all his viewers? A big thanks, my friend, once again for having me here in another video. This time around, you wanted me to check out Superfly. We're continuing on with the blaxploitation films, and last time you had me do Foxy Brown with you and Blacktastic Media, and I was not a huge fan, but I appreciated the film for what it was. I was able to laugh at certain things, and based on that video, what you guys said and what I've seen from other things online, the basic gist I'm getting from blaxploitation films is that, you know, they were just a big deal for the black community at the time, and a lot of people are aware that majority of the really popular installments in the genre aren't all that great. It really just comes down to enjoying them for what they are. And so I went into this one with that mentality. Superfly is a film that I feel like I've seen the poster for 1,000 times. I just kind of, you know, I've just seen it. I've heard it. I know what it is. You know, I know the aesthetic of the film. And what I can say after having watched it is I liked it more than Foxy Brown. It's not a great movie, but I was also surprised to see that it has a pretty high score on Rotten Tomatoes and with the community on the Vudu app, which is where I rented and watched it. And yeah, you know, I get it, right? I get why this movie has that appeal. But what I can say overall is, you know, the film wasn't amazing for me. It didn't have anything narratively that I was ever really gripped to. None of the characters I was ever really gripped to, except for our main character, Priest, and I'll get into that in just one second. But as far as a movie goes, it's something that I want to rewatch, and a journey with characters that I really care for. Yeah, that's not what I came into this movie expecting, and I didn't get it. But what I can say about the main character of this film, Priest, played by Ron O'Neal, I really enjoyed Ron O'Neal in the role. I think he just 100% fit into this character and what it needed to be, and I understand why it's so iconic and why his role, why this character is so iconic. He is totally committed to the role, and I totally believed him. Like, he was the most believable part of the movie, and specifically just in the dialogue scenes. Now, when it comes to some of the action where you can absolutely see that the punches are not connecting or the kicks are not connecting, or it just looks like a bunch of people who don't know how to fight are doing really bad choreography with very obvious camera angles that are kind of giving away the effect of the punches. Outside of those scenes, he was really good. I really enjoyed him in a lot of the dialogue heavy scenes. He seemed like somebody I wouldn't want to fuck with, and I definitely just appreciated how committed he was to the role. And after doing just a little bit of research after I watched the movie, I learned that, first of all, the director apparently died in a plane crash, which is crazy. And beyond that, I also learned that Ron O'Neal couldn't really escape this role. He couldn't really escape, you know, the typecast of this role. I believe there's a sequel from what I heard, and yeah, after that he tried to do a bunch of things. He had a couple other big roles or things that were kind of notable, but he ended up just going on to like kind of do generic schlocky TV and movies that didn't really ever go anywhere, and he ended up dying of pancreatic cancer after not really being able to kind of let go of the lifestyle that he helped kind of create with the movie. Because this movie is, you know, sex, cocaine, and, you know, that's pretty much what the movie generally is. Like, there's not much to this movie on a deep level, but I really enjoyed just kind of how silly it was at times, and some of the bad editing and some of the bad acting. But as a movie, I can genuinely say I was bored on many occasions while watching the movie, and there were just so many instances where I was watching and thinking, yeah, I probably will never watch this again. There's like what feels like a 5 to 10 minute section of the film where they just use a bunch of just still images of different people as they're selling the cocaine products throughout the course of the film, and it's like near the end of the movie, in the last like 40 minutes, and it's just like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna say it's like 5 minutes, but genuinely just showing images, and there's just this music playing over it. Probably my favorite parts of the movie are Ron O'Neal as Priest, and then the music. I really enjoyed the score. You know, whenever his little theme would come on, sometimes it was a little bit overused, but for the most part, I found it to be just fun and charming, and I was definitely grooving with the music. So yeah, that's gonna be my thoughts on Superfly. I don't have a whole lot to say, but I appreciate you putting me on to a new movie I've never seen, an iconic film that I've always heard of, but now I've seen, and I could definitely, you know, add that to the library of things that I've seen. A big thanks to Rashad for having me here in this video. Always a pleasure, my friend. I look forward to what we have going on next. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pass it off to you now, man. Thanks again.
My man, that's what's up. You know what? When I gave you this, I honestly thought you was going to shit on it because I gave you Foxy Brown before this and you wasn't a fan of Foxy Brown. And I know Superfly on a technical level is inferior to Foxy Brown because you could tell there was really no budget to this film. It's heavily flawed. Like, even when you see the opening chase scene, you can see the wire from the camera. You can see the reflection of the camera. You can see the boom microphone a couple of times. In the slow motion fight scenes, you can see the hit clearly missing them. There's just so much wrong with this movie. Technically, you know what I'm saying? It's not well put together as compared to a Foxy Brown, but I think the message and what it stood for and the performance by Ron O'Neal as Priest. Ron O'Neal knocked it out the park with this role that, like you said, Perez, he was typecast after this because he did a sequel called Superfly TNT where even if you like bad movies, don't watch that. Don't. If you have any love for this movie, do not watch the sequel. Superfly TNT, I couldn't even get through it. That's how bad it was. Like, it's not Rudy Ray Moore bad when you laugh at it. No, it's just bad. But yeah, man, he could never find a role that took him, that you can separate him from that role of Priest. That's how well he played it. And Perez, I don't know if you caught the reference. If you watch Menace to Society, the part where they was playing cards, and your boy was like, "Hey man, you know," Samuel Jackson was like, "Hey man, you know, where's my money at?" And your boy was like, "Man, fuck you, Tat. Who you think you is, Ron O'Neal or something? Talk about I better pay you else." Yeah, see? I don't know if you caught that or not, but yeah, Ron O'Neal played Priest like he was the guy. You know what I'm saying? He was cool. He was smart. He was menacing, kick-ass, but had a vulnerability to him also where you kind of felt bad for him and you wanted to see him get out. He had like so many different, I want to say layers to his character, you know what I mean? And so he is definitely the shining spot on this movie and Curtis Mayfield's music. And Sheila Frazier, of course, is Georgia, you know, his bottom bitch, you know what I'm saying, the main chick that has his back, you know what I'm saying? She did her thing as well. So, like I said, I have the whole review down below. I'm going to leave it in the description to detail the movie Superfly. But like I said, for this video, I just wanted to share this with my YouTube brother, Perez. And I'm glad that you did enjoy it. And you did enjoy it better than Foxy Brown. Because I thought you was going to shit on it. And yeah, that's all I got for Superfly. I believe I gave it an A in my review. And I'm sticking to that grade. I give Superfly A. It's clearly the best of the blaxploitation era. I say that and the Mac are the two best. And Sweetback, even though you look Sweetback, if you look at Sweetback, you'd be like, ugh, this is. But Sweetback was the OG. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have got those movies, and then we wouldn't have got a lot of stuff that we got today because it all started with Sweetback. You know what I mean? So yeah, A is what I got for Superfly. And by the way, if I haven't said it already, I have a bad habit of doing this. If you haven't subscribed already, check out Anthony A. Perez. Link is also going to be in the description. Anthony A. Perez, he talks about movies like myself. He's my YouTube brother, man. Very cool dude. Check his channel out. And, yeah, I should have mentioned that early in the video. Perez, I'm sorry. You know I'm getting old, bro. So anyways, y'all, what did you think about Superfly? Comment freely below. Thank you all for watching. And, yeah, wait a minute. I got to say this, too. Fuck that 2018 Superfly also. I will not watch that one. I'll refuse to watch that one. And I probably shouldn't have said that because now I feel Perez is going to fuck with me. I feel like Perez is going to fuck with me and be like, "Hey, Rashad, guess what your next movie is? 2018 Superfly." Shit. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, comment freely below, all that good shit. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.